What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna stop by real quick and present you guys a bike that is not a stranger to anyone. So my buddy Darren let me borrow his bike. I believe it's a 2016 Yamaha R6, if not, correct me, 2017, but the last generation I think were introduced in 2017, so this is the one before the last generation. It's got the bumblebee headlights. Yeah, she's a beauty, and this colorway, it's very rare. I bet it's very expensive to change it out once if something were to happen, if you were to go down. But I've only ridden it around the town here. I haven't really gone to the highway, which is the point of this, is to see how it handles. Oh, look at that. It has the Q3 Pluses. Those are the tires I'm looking to get on my Ninja. So we're about to see right now how they feel. All I can tell you is, man, leaning this bike over, it feels amazing. I can tell why people love this bike. I think it makes a great track weapon, to be honest with you. Between this and the Gixxer 600, people say that the Kawasaki CX-6R is also a good track weapon. I beg to differ. I don't know. I have no base of comparison. All I know is that I prefer either the Suzuki Gixxer 600 or the R6 as a track bike. You can find a lot of cheap ones in the internet. I've seen some for $2,000, like 2016. I saw one for $4,000, but nonetheless, this is a pretty good bike. I like it. Way different. So let's swing a leg over this bike and see how it feels. All right, I can flat foot on one side with tippy toes on the other side. I'm 5'9", 69 inches, and I can't really flat foot, but I am confident that both my legs can touch the ground and I can wiggle the bike side to side. I have no problems with this. This bike doesn't feel so bad. Here's the problem though. My legs on my Ninja, they're right here, if you can see. On this bike, you can't see them. They're gone. So it's all the way back here. And the bike's ergos right here with the tank, how it's bulbous, it's perfect for hugging the legs all around it. So I got the peg down. So I'm going to put both feet up. Yep, this is good. The ergos, my handlebars are up here, which I'm not going to lie, I don't mind it, but I'd rather have him where he has his, down here, which there's a kit for my bike too that I can actually put it like this, so it's not so bad. This I don't know how it would be like to commute on this every day. All I know is that when I was on a red light, the clutch was pretty heavy because I have a hard time finding neutral on this bike. Real hard time. This bike does not want to be in neutral. This bike just wants to, it just wants to rip. So, but other than that, once the bike gets going and you turn it, it feels amazing. I'm not gonna lie. So how about we just quit our chattering and let's get to riding. Pegs off. Oh, now I'm in neutral. Okay. We got a powered 4-cylinder engine here. I believe it's an inline 4. I don't know too much about this bike. I just got curious. I wanted to ride it. I want to see how it feels. So this is me actually trying right now. Okay, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna ride it around my town and then go to the highway and bring it right back. I don't like keeping his bike out all day, so I'm gonna just try and give this a whirl and see how that feels. I want to see how commuting on this thing would feel. All right, reverse. It's got GP shift on this bike, so not to worry. I believe this bike has roughly around 116 horsepower. Not bad. yeah, this bike feels pretty good. I keep thinking that the peg where it's at here is where the 10,000's at. I keep thinking that that's like my bike at 9,000 or maybe 6,000. I'm so used to my crappy bike that's what I feel. But yeah, no, you can feel the pull after 10,000 RPM. You feel it. Brakes have good bite too. There's a lot of pressure on the wrist. See, and I'm struggling to find neutral. Yep, there's no point. About to go right now. Whoa, whoa. See? I don't even know what speed I'm doing. I just go for it, and all of a sudden I look down and I'm already at 60 without even trying. Feels like this bike is trying to tell me, come on man, I know you got more in you. That sound is just, oh my god. You can feel the engine come alive after 10,000. I keep forgetting I don't have my winglet mirrors. I don't have to look as much. These mirrors cover perfectly all the distance that I need for this bike to cover every single end. Anyways, the triple tree, the clip-ons are actually really low. It is not the most comfortable with the backpack, I'll tell you that much. It feels like I have weight on my back now. Comfortably, not flat footing, like I said, 1 foot flat foot, the other one is ready to go. We need to get away from all these red lights. I don't know why, but his bike feels way better than my other buddy's bike with his R6. Probably because the clip-ons were a little higher, but he said he changed it. But this bike should not have higher clip-ons. This bike feels right at home here. Let's talk about agility. It's needless to say that this bike, it may feel a little heavy, but it's really not heavy at all. It's very nimble. Although I feel like my bike's more lightweight, but this bike still feels nimble. And now you feel the rumble when the bike starts coming alive after 10,000 RPM. Don't disrespect this bike though. Just because the power isn't at the low range of the RPM band, that doesn't mean that this bike is no slouch. You eat the throttle just a little bit, like the way I eat my throttle on my Ninja 400, this bike will get off onto you, so treat the bike with respect. Time for the highway test real quick. Let's test out the highway, y'all. Hang on a second. We're gonna see if we can find a gap where we can actually pull into. Show off the true power of this bike. That's all I got. I'm not gonna give it more. Lord Almighty. We're just gonna cruise now. I'm not gonna do that anymore. That was a one-time thing. That was fun. This isn't my bike. I don't want to get in trouble. The throttle does feel very responsive. Feels great. I feel like I would have no problem. This is a second bike or even a track bike. So they say that the R7 is similar to this attack position of this bike. The R7, it has a little bit more ergo-friendly position on than this bike. This bike, I'm like ready for attack. I think I might have solved the issue with the neutral. Just touch my back a little bit. Oh. Future plans for me, I don't think I might go with another sport bike right after this, or like just try having one to live with one, because that position, the attack position, is, oh man, it's a killer on my back. Future bikes, I was thinking MT-07, MT-09, more than likely an MT-09. I can make it into a sort of touring bike. I could turn it almost into a touring bike, the MT-09. And probably buy one of these or a Gixxer 600 as a track bike, or a Gixxer 700, whichever one. Buy one of those and just keep it in my garage. Buy a cheap one, like I'm talking about 2007, 2008. Once I squeeze with the abs, like I was saying, squeeze with the abs and with my legs, pressure's off pretty much. It's just like, it's just a placement for my hands now. Things to notice, like I said before, no shift indicator or gear indicator, no gas gauge, but you can use your trip meter to gauge how much gas you have left on the tank. And I'm not going to be a douche. I will give him a little bit of gas in his bike for what I used, so that way at least he comes home, because he's on vacation right now, so comes home with gas in his bike as a thank you for letting me borrow his bike. If you're listening, man, thanks for the bike, thanks for the review, I appreciate it. This exit right here has a pretty good turn, so this gives it a good chance for us to test the banking of the bike and see how the bike feels on the curves. There shouldn't be any traffic at this moment. bike feels amazing. Alrighty. This thing is a freaking rocket, man. Beast of a bike, man. And it's a great price too for a $12,000 for something that can decimate other bikes, other 600s, cars. I'm sure you can take on a Hellcat with this thing, and a Hellcat's like what, 80 to 100,000 nowadays? Yeah. Screw cars. I already said it. And cars are beautiful and everything, but they just get in the way, man. They're clunky. I don't need them. For me, a car is a utilitarian feature. I haul my bike with it. That's it. Don't need it. Or, oh yeah, and take the family out. Can't take them all on a bike. So that's what a car's good for me. Other than that, for me, it's two wheels for life. And to be honest with you, just riding this thing cemented the fact that I need one for the track. Only for the track, not a commuter. This is not a good commuter bike for me. And I 100% think it's not. Don't want it to be mine. I like the fact that this is a great track bike. It can kill anything, decimate almost anything on the track, and even keep up with the leader bikes if written correctly. Yours truly is not a pro, so some of the guys that I ride with are better, and they can be pros if they so choose. Like, this is a good weekend bike, I ain't gonna lie. I would use this to ride around the canyons on the weekends or track. That's pretty much what I would use this bike for. If you're 21 years old and you want a super sport to start off with, I'm not saying you can't start off with this bike. You can definitely start off in this bike. Like I said, the power is you'll be shifting down low a lot, just so that way you can get the handle on how to ride this bike. But once you leave it in the hands of an expert, you don't have to worry. Like, any expert can handle this bike. And look at me, man, I'm a freaking novice and I can handle it. At least as a commuter. Track weapon, I haven't thought about it yet, or I haven't tried it in the track yet, but I'm pretty sure this thing makes me feel confident to lean a bike over, especially with those Dunlop Sport Mac Q3 Pluses. Man, you'd be an idiot to not take advantage of a lean on that bike, on this bike, or in any bike with a Q3. The downside with the Q3s is the longevity. Not many people like having them as a daily tire because you have to change them out more frequently, from what I've heard, not speaking from experience. But I do know that I want a Q3 Plus as my next tire for my Ninja. They do make them for the size for my Ninja, and I don't see a problem with it at all. Well, so back again, and I just got done riding the Yamaha R6, and I found a lot of cool things about that bike. First of all, it made me want to get rid of my Ninja 400. First of all, that is the one thing, made me want to get rid of it. I got it onto the bike, and the ergos, by all means, were just trash. I did not like the ergos at all. That whole laying down position, I'm not cool with it. The only place I'm actually cool with it is the track. That's it. I don't care for it anywhere else but the track. Canyon carving, that's it. Daily commuting, out of the question. No thank you. But a definite weapon for carving canyons and for riding on the track. I really think that's what that bike excels and it's made to do, is that. Styling of the bike, it just looks mean. It looks aggressive. It doesn't look like anything. Like, the Yamahas always have a way to get a person's attention, always get them to like want more from Yamaha. Like, even the R7 looks menacing, and we all know it's not a menacing bike. It looks like it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, pretty much. It looks like it's gonna be a good bike, a strong bike, a supplement for the Yamaha R6. That it's not. it's just a nice old MT-07 with fairings. It's just disguising itself. But the R6, I don't think anything can ever supplement that. That's actually a bike that has no substitute. The R1, but not everybody's ready to ride an R1. I certainly as heck am not, so I know that for a fact. The styling just looks super aggressive. It looks like you don't want to be intimidated. There's, I believe, two bikes that look very menacing to me, and that's usually a Yamaha Super Sport or an R6 R1 or a Ducati Panigale. Those two look very vicious. And this is just talking about full fairing bikes. That's about the only ones that I find menacing to me. In naked class, the Yamahas are always looking menacing with that Decepticon look onto them, and KTM with their Super Dukes and the Duke 890s. Those are the bikes that look very menacing at all times. As for engine and power, this engine is pretty much obsolete. They don't make the R6 engine anymore. It's an inline 4, not the cross-plane one, the inline 4. Cross-plane one belongs to the Yamaha R1 and the MT-10. So this one is the old-fashioned inline 4 screamer of an engine, making about 116 to 120 ponies. That's taking it lightly, to be honest with you, because this bike, it may start off slow at the beginning, and all of a sudden when you get it up to 8,000 to 9,000, you start feeling that. But yeah, as long as you're smooth with the throttle, the power will be super linear on its way to the 10,000 power band. I almost let go of the throttle at one point, and I went a little too far when I was around 6,000 RPM, and I went to yank the throttle, so used to my Ninja, and it went to 10,000 and it almost wheelied. The bike almost wheelied, and I'm glad I didn't do that. I knew how to stop it, so it's just getting used to it. Power, it makes great power, excellent power. The exhaust note on that bike, it doesn't sound menacing when you start it up. It sounds very docile, you know, get things done, you know, like simple. And then all of a sudden, once you get to 10,000, man, that thing screams. It howls. It's beautiful sounding bike, especially with that Akropovich exhaust that he had installed a slip on. And perfect, great sound effect to that bike. The weight on that bike is actually pretty low. I believe it's around 400, around 400-ish, low 300 pounds. That's a really light and nimble bike. Not as nimble as my Ninja, but then again, that's a parallel twin compared to an inline 4. Totally different. The weight's completely different. But yeah, the weight, with enough, I've seen it on YouTube, especially where people dismantle the bike, they put lightweight fairings on it, and they can get the R6 to weigh, even an R1 to weigh 380 pounds. An R6 can possibly weigh even less than that. So that's a good thing for the Yamaha series. Yamahas are very light bikes anyways. The suspension and the brakes. I ran over a few bumps on the road. My back felt them. I felt it all the way down my spine. That sucked. And considering I don't have a strong back, yeah, that happened to me. And I ended up trying to avoid every single ditch. Luckily, the bike is very maneuverable. It's very agile for that sense. The brakes, very strong. Twin rotor calipers up front. I believe they're Yamaha brand or Yamaha house brakes, but they're really strong, extremely strong. I pressed on the brakes smoothly and gently on them, and the bite on the brakes had perfect, right amount of power. The fuel economy on that bike, he says there it's averaging around 39 miles per gallon. That sounds believable, but considering the other options out there, you have other cars that are fast and they're spending about 10 miles to the gallon to 50 miles to the gallon. Yeah, I'm going to say that this is still the safer bet when you want to save money on gas. It takes premium fuel, so I was nice enough to fill the tank up for him again. Features on this bike, it's 2016, there are none. The features started coming on to 2017 when Yamaha decided to put the vintage R1 dash from the late 2000s, early 2010s, and put it onto the R6. So now 2017 has modes A and B. This one does not have any modes. There's no gas gauge either, so you have to pretty much use your trip meter to distinguish how much gas you have left on your tank. Like every bike, it'll have a warning light telling you that you have to go get some gas. No major features on this bike. Just believe this bike might have ABS. I don't know. I didn't see any ABS badges on that, but the brakes felt quite good. I didn't feel any clitter clacking from that. The price on this bike, The price of a Yamaha R6 is around $12,000 for the last year, which is 2020. But you see plenty, and I looked around online for Yamaha R6, and I'm looking for 3rd gen, not 4th gen, which is the last one. I'm looking for 3rd gens, and I found them roughly a beaten up one that's been used a lot for the track purposes, roughly around $6,000. Lowest and the highest I've seen is 11,000 on them. They relatively keep their price very well. I found one that was salvage title, and for $3,000. The guy only used it for track purposes only. So that is the purpose what I would buy it for. I would just use it for the track. For that, for the canyons, I guess I can do without the R6 for the canyons. I can go on a naked bike or my Ninja to go onto the canyons. No big deal. I'm not racing up there. It's just for fun. But the track, salvage title or not, I think this is quite a steal, and I honestly believe between the Yamaha R6 and I'm a Ninja loyalist, so I'm gonna have to say a ZX6R. Those would be one of the 2 bikes that I would get for the track. I think that about covers everything that I needed to cover. Yep. So yeah, that sums up this video. Again, make sure you click the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I will catch you on the next one. We'll try to do more of these frequently. We'll probably next bike, I don't know what it's gonna be. This was kind of a last minute sort of thing, so I decided to give you guys something, different material instead of riding the old Ninja 400 all the time. Other than that, peace out.